let me tell you the topic for the second panel discussion is equally interesting and will in fact invite your deep involvement in it. The topic would be innovative strategies in insurance, enhancing customer relationships and operational efficiency. So this is essentially an extension of what we discussed in the first panel, and we are proceeding with the second panel with the topic which will be highlighted on your screens shortly, and we will have some fantastic speakers who are lined up for the second panel discussion. Please, if you can avoid commotion in the hall, it will be really helpful, and I request you to continue to please be seated as we are not taking any break right now. We are straight away heading into our second panel discussion. All the nameplates have already been placed, and I'm going to call upon all our panelists one by one to join us here on the stage and take their seats. So for our second panel discussion, let me begin by inviting on stage Ms. Niharika Singh, Executive Director, IFCO Tokyo General Insurance Company Limited. Ms. Niharika Singh, ma'am, I welcome you to the stage. Please join us and take your seat. Our next panelist for this discussion is going to be Ms. Rema Devi V, General Manager, the New India Assurance Company Limited. Welcome, ma'am. Please join us on the stage and take your seat. Our third panelist for this panel discussion is going to be Mr. Sachin Shilawat, President and Head OEM Automotive Alliance, Reliance General Insurance Company Limited. Welcome, sir. Can we please extend a warm welcome to all our guests who are joining us on the stage. Next, I'd like to call on stage Mr. Subhashish Mazumdar, President and Head Motor Distribution, Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Corporation Limited. Welcome, sir. And this session will be moderated by Ms. Garima Mishra, Executive Committee Member and Managing Director, Landmark Lifestyle Cars Private Limited. Welcome, ma'am. And request you all to please take your seats. I will be handing over the mic to Ms. Garima Mishra to proceed with the panel discussion on the topic, innovative strategies in insurance, enhancing customer relationships and operational efficiency. Just a note for you to take care of, ma'am. The timer is going to be on, and request all the panelists to adhere to the time. Thank you.
Good morning, friends. Let me extend a very warm welcome to the esteemed panelists for this panel discussion on insurance and auto retail, from gaps to growth. We as auto dealers share an inherent relationship with the insurance companies. Our relationship is essential for survival of both. Just to share, the GI book size in India is close to 3 lakh crores, and out of that, 90,000 crores is contributed by motor. Out of this 90,000, 45,000 crores is contributed from motor dealers. Similarly, we all know that F&I contributes close to 30% of our profits. Having such an important role on each other's balance sheets, do we really share the respect that we should for each other? On this note, I would like to start today's discussion. One more thing before I start, I wanted to say to everybody. Well, we all talk about customer centricity, but somehow I don't know why OEMs, insurance companies and finance companies forget that we dealers are the customers to them. They forget to differentiate between the customer and the consumer. My humble request to all insurance companies is please understand this difference. We are your customers and we should be important to you. Coming straight to the point, since for all of us, we are in business, money is important. One very, very critical point is about payouts. Insurance payouts, on commission payouts, the transparency and the timeliness of the payouts. This is our hard-earned money, yet it becomes very difficult to get this in our bank, in our books in time. I would like to ask Niharika ji, tell me, Why does it take so much of time? Why over 60 days, sometimes even longer, for our payouts to come to us?
Good afternoon. It's not that we do it deliberately. The issue is that with EOM coming in, we have made changes in the way we make payments, and the systems are evolving. Now that everything has to be digitally enabled, systems are evolving, and I think the industry has reached a stage where payouts are reaching the dealers on time. I don't see much delay, but yes, sometimes things do go haywire when the systems are not able to take, they are not able to behave the way we want them to. But I would say that at this moment, most of the payouts from most of the insurers to dealerships are kind of happening on time at the end of the month. If you have any specific issues, we are happy to discuss.
Garima, thank you. Thank you, FEDA, for inviting us for this panel discussion. So, timeliness and accuracy of payouts is one of the critical aspects in the dealership business. And to address it, let me classify it into, the OEM driven. For technical reasons, I'll call it broker driven businesses or business model, where pre-OEM and post-OEM. Post-OEM, I think so, I agree to what Niharika said. Things have simplified, where we are passing on the payouts to the brokers and brokers are passing it on to the dealers. But you also need to understand how the insurance companies function. So fundamentally, if you look at in insurance companies, the model is, so we all have mostly digitized, commission processing systems, right? A policy issued in a particular month, check money received in that particular month, risk start date of that particular month is a straight through process. Now the issue arises around the month end policies typically, where policy is received, money is not received, because even in a digital format, the money is received by the insurance companies, the latest at T+1. So that's one point where policy has been punched, money is yet to be received, or the risk start date is in the subsequent month. Now in our straight through processes, which are fairly digitized, there is a manual intervention for this set of policies. The second set of complexity is, look at the various OEM programs, okay? In certain OEM programs, up to discount is there, up to X%, a dealer can issue 20, 30, 40, 50, up to a discount. We need to adjust commission structures to that. Second is, there are multiple, say, three discount slabs being given into program. Now in certain OEM programs, there is clustering of dealers that's happening across. So to adjust to all these kinds of nitty-gritties and complexities in payouts, it's not an easy thing, right? So at times, but still we are working along with the OEM brokers to try to sort this out. But to be fair, almost 96-97% of the payouts are happening on time. The aberrations are on the 3-4% aberration that I'm talking of is typically where the month-end policies have been punched, money is not received. The most important thing is somewhere we had received money by check from customer, and there was the check had bounced. Then the reconciliation happens, issue pops in where there is again a disconnect. So these are couple of challenges which we are still not able to address through digital transformation. But we are working along with the brokers. I'm sure in a due course of time we'll be able to figure out and make this entire process seamless with 100% accuracy.
Thank you.
I agree with both of them. I don't see much of a challenge, especially in escalation from the brokers or from the dealers regarding the timeliness of payouts in case of the usual payouts which are happening. In terms of incentive, yes, the promotions that happen along the way. Probably there will be some slight delay in which we adjust our processes, because these are very dynamic. So we address the processes accordingly. So at that point of time, some sort of a delay may occur, but this has never been the main cause of concern when we talk with dealers or OEMs or their representatives on the point. So I think, as I agree with Sajjan sir, that most of these things are there, when the technological upgradations, when it does not match with the pace in which we make the corrections to our payout structure, that is bound to happen. But otherwise, I don't think that as far as the regular payouts go, there is much of a concern, which of course we have not heard so much of escalations on that respect. Commission incentives, yes, it does take a little bit of time, but I think.
Yeah, so Subhashish, that's what was the, I think the MISP payout or the IRDA payout is not such a big problem, but the additional incentives is what gets really delayed. So it's the same policy, right? I mean, I have issued one policy to a customer. I'm going to get an IRDA payout on that, and I'm going to get the additional incentive on that itself. Then why does that additional incentive take so long? What happens here? What happens in these 30 days that needs to be taken for this payout to come, which is mostly the larger part?
Yeah. First of all, a big thank you to FADA for inviting us to be part of this panel. See, the relationship between a dealership and insurance company is unique. It's beyond policy or payout. It's about trust, transparency, and sustainability of both sides. Talking about payouts, I think the process is streamlined to a great extent, barring some situations what Sachin was telling. Nowadays, the payout is made within 15 days. There are lags, there may be a lag because the payout is routed through brokers, but it is usually made within 15 days of the next month. But coming to this point that since it blocks the capital of the dealers, I think industry is ready to pay payout on 15 days basis, fortnightly basis also. So, but it becomes, we did approach to the OEM brokers that we are ready to pay. Why 15 days? In 7 days we can make payout every 7 days. It's cumbersome for them to process. That's the reason it's not happening. But I think industry is ready to process every fortnight. And once the point that you made is correct, that once the MISP is out, then on the reconciliations are done. Then why the delay in the additional incentive part? You're absolutely to the T on that. So it's just a process, but it happens within 15 days of the next month. It doesn't take 60 days.
Yeah, so my humble request is that we shouldn't be taken as casually that we are taken at times. And if this can be taken up with the OEM brokers collectively, that our interest is everybody's interest. We are the last mile in this dealership chain, and a very important one. So that importance is given and due correction is made, it would be really nice. The second thing on money is again on claim settlements. Humongous amount of delays in claim settlements on GST payouts. So what happens is that most of the insurance companies hold back GSTs while making the payout for the claim, which we don't understand why, because we are dealers with you for a very, very long time, and I think that basic trust should be there. It is just unnecessary, causing additional reconciliation in books, which is not required. Also, on claims, we were having a chat where cashless is a concern. I mean, the way I personally see it is cashless is credit that is extended by the dealer. When cashless is extended to non-MISP policies which are not issued by us, the claims get delayed extensively. And that really, really puts a lot of pressure on our working capital, on our fund flows. How can we mitigate this? How can we make this faster? is a question that I want to ask, and I would like to start with Rema.
Thank you. Actually, this is one of the concerns that we also have, in which we were hoping that the dealer community will be helping us out. We are to treat all our customers in an equal fashion, and in whichever channels through which we disperse the policies, we'll expect that the dealerships and the workshops will deal with our customers in the similar manner. So we will expect at our level that the cashless is extended to all the customers, regardless of where they have sourced the policy from. Having said that, we understand your concerns. Why would you be required for a credit facility if you know that the claims are going to get delayed? But there you can and you should, take this commitment from us, and that is why actually Sir was talking about our long-standing relationship, and we are here to stay. And in any case, this delay in the way in which we make payments is a service problem, which has to be addressed at all levels, across the thing. So what our submission is that if we are in a position to give that commitment to you, that the payments will be made in time, this is something that we would request the dealer fraternity to do, to extend all help in ensuring that enough more than cashless is afforded to all. So this is one of the things in which we can convince the regulator also that irrespective of how the business is sourced, the end consumer gets the respect he deserves in being able to access all the services of all the partners equally. So in this case, it will be a submission again back to you that it should be provided, and then we are here to be accountable to be made accountable as to the days or the TAT at which we ought to settle such claims. We are here to help you out.
So Subhashish, Remaji talked about that as insurers you expect us to look at each policy with the same eye. But then at the same time, why don't you? So why do you differentiate your labor rates to us when it comes to policies sourced by us, or policies sourced by your brokers and agents? Why do I not get my same labor rates as I should for every policy or every claim that comes to me from the insurance company? You all know that there is differentiation on labor rates, on policies that are sourced by us and sourced by your brokers.
See, it's a price dynamic at what price insurance is picked up. So OEM brokers, OEM dealerships gives us a price which is sustainable to adhere to the OEM schedule. But when it comes to non-OEM business, the prices are not sustainable to give the same kind of labor schedule. Although we negotiate a bit on the labor schedule and all, but it will not be the same as because of the pricing dynamics. So if you get adequate premium, you can adhere to the OEM schedules. If you don't get adequate, then it becomes unsustainable.
So Sachin, we have a reason for the labor rates not being given to us. We are being expected to give credit to customers who have not bought policies through us. How do we work? Tell me, as dealers, we will not get the same rates. We will still have to give credit. We will not get our money on time. How do we function?
So, Garima, to answer to your first part, if you look at the claims processing system again, it is very standardized. So, for example, we at Reliance, we on a monthly basis handle anywhere between 35,000 to 38,000 motor claims. So, unless our systems are not standardized, right, we cannot handle, and everything will be chaos. So, almost 90% of the claims are settled down in a 7 days TAT, right? Now, where are the outliers, right? Again, just to break up the entire thing, when you're saying only the payout is getting delayed, the payment is getting delayed, or even the inspection and all these getting delayed. If we break the inspection part, I would recommend the way we have standardized labor rates for OEM programs, we should look at standardizing labor rates even for non-OEM policies. So once you standardize that, the time that is invested in bargaining across with the insurance companies for rates will be sorted out. Point number one. So that should address a sizable chunk of the time. Now, the other reasons are incomplete documents, right? Could be in case of major loss cases, it could be the NOC from financer, could be the reason for delay in getting the right salvage value, salvage pickup. So lot of these factors are there, but technically once even when the vehicle is released, lot of times there is a gap of 2 to 3 days from the dealership to pass on that invoice to the insurance companies. So a right solution to this is if there is a integration of DMS with the insurance systems, the day the invoice is prepared at the dealership, right, it will it will sync back to the insurance company system, right? We may put in we have our OCR systems in place. We are experimenting with a lot of different tech-based solutions to speed up the entire claims processing, to automate it, and at a T+1 or a T+2 we could pass on the claims money into the insurance, into the dealers' accounts. So we need to standardize, we need to identify the factors which are resulting into the delay. Just by submitting invoice, that would not be the reason why the payouts may, the payments may get delayed, because there are TATs within the insurance companies also to make payments. So if you may be surprised to know, but the customer service engineers and the claim folks have KPIs around the speed at which they are processing the claim. So we need to identify these gaps where the delays are happening and try to standardize. And one of the biggest factor which results into delay is the non-standardized labor rates. If you are able to standardize that even for non-OEM policies, I think that should take away most of these challenges that we are facing.
So Niharika ji, two things to you. One is why this held back or hold back of the GST amount. And the second is to make the claim process easier for dealers. Can we look at some kind of rating of dealers? Because I also understand that, and basis that rating, maybe some amount of self-survey be allowed to dealers. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, Garima, now that digitization is very much happening across the industry, and with AI and IoT devices, we are able to do a lot of manual work is being shifted to digital work. So I think the integrations are the most important thing, and standardization. You have integration and standardization across for all claim processes. I think the difference between OEM, non-OEM will not be there, because the person sitting at the desk looking at the claim is not aware whether this policy has been sold by OEM or non-OEM. So that issue can be sorted, and I think FADA can help us in standardizing the processes for all labor costs. And GST, yes, GST is one issue where some frauds we have seen in the past, where dealerships have not put in the details in the GST portal, which is very robust, and I should credit the government for doing it. So we changed our process. We ensured that every claim before finalization, we check on the GST portal and immediately pay off the GST along with the claim. Wherever we are not able to find GST, I think that's the way it should be. So people who have not been proactively using the GST portal are the ones who are suffering, and the people who are actually doing the thing in a right way are not suffering. That's the only thing I can add here.
Thank you. Sachin, the other one challenge is, I think, the discussion or the argument on the ownership of the customer. Who really owns the customer? And with the, with the tightening of the data privacy laws, why does dealer data or insurances that are sold by the dealers, why is that data suddenly circulating across, how come all insurance brokers, companies like Paytm, how do they get access to our data and how can they be calling on the data? So that is my first and primary question.
So fundamentally, Garima, once a customer comes for inquiry, he purchases a vehicle, the customer is owned by the dealer. If there is a finance, for finance, the customer is owned by the banker. If there is an insurance, the customer is owned by the insurance company. The moment he goes for registration, the data is also in the RTO portal. So if you ask me, within insurance companies, when I'm saying us, I mean to say for all of us, we have different verticals, right? LOBs which source business from open market. But to be true to you, even we don't have access to that data. So fundamentally, leakage of data from an insurance company is very rare. Now, there are data vendors who sell data, who procure data from RTO, there are vendors who procure data from financiers, maybe, I don't know. But fundamentally, getting the data from the insurance company is next to impossible. That's the level of security, data security is maintained within the insurance company. So, to the best of my knowledge, any kind of data leakage happening from insurance companies is next to impossible.
In fact, today customer has become Draupadi because OEM feels it's their ownership, OEM broker feels their ownership, financier feels this owner, and then finally comes the insurance company. So, so what Sachin said is that insurance companies, data leaking from insurance companies is the rarest possibility. There are other sources, unethical ways through which data floats in the market.
So, Remaji, can we not stop this by ensuring that a policy, if it's done by one code, then the renewal will come into that code? I think if we can do something on that, I don't know exactly what, but maybe if we can work on this where if one dealer has sourced an insurance policy, then the renewal of that has to come into that code. It should not be moved. Once we start doing those kind of things, I think all these malpractices and data leakages will stop automatically.
I agree with you. In fact, we have a data protection policy with all OEMs. We don't allow code change when the business is shows by dealer, it goes to the dealer only. We have maintained a code protection policy.
Same goes for us. If it is a routine renewal where the client has not appointed any other intermediary, then it normally flows to the channel from who has originally sourced it. It is not changed unless it is mandated by the insurance that you insured that you change the channel partner. But what happens, everyone was suggesting, the data does not leak from us. In fact, we are always flummoxed right from the start by how the data gets out immediately with all the contact details also, because we have been trying on a related note to find out what are the uninsured vehicles. All of us have targets around that to see where are the to insure uninsured commercial vehicles of a certain, and we are not able to get the data, not even from IIB, because it's not supposed to be shared. So the leakage does not happen from us, and we are conscious, and in that we are very ethical that if somebody has procured it, normally it will go to them unless the insured mandates otherwise.
Yes, Neha.
No code change allowed anywhere. See, the Gen Z today is kind of shopping around, and once you are on the net and you put your number, it's public. So we should not think that anybody would leak the data or anybody can take out data from insurance companies. But yes, insured themselves may be responsible. And to tell you the truth, we on our own cannot see the mobile numbers and email IDs of the customers that we write, because it's all masked as per data security policies.
So, That's great. I think all the insurance companies say that they do not change renewal codes, so then we all should look at it that our renewals should come back into our codes itself.
In fact, I'll just take, in fact, the other way round, kudos to the brokers of, in the OEM program, the kinds of SLAs they have put into place. No OEM policy, so to talk about my organization, nobody can punch in a policy in my system. Anybody walks into my branch, he cannot renew the policy if it is an OEM policy, point number one. Right? No, in fact, we have the other way around. We have the other LOBs complaining about their set of customers being renewed by the dealers. Right? That's the challenge, you know, dilemma that we face when we go back to our offices, where it is saying that we are more biased towards the dealer-based OEM programs.
Now, I have a lot of questions to ask, but I don't think I will be fair to my dealer friends sitting here if I don't allow them to ask their questions. So I think let's have a quick round. We have about 5 to 6 minutes where we can do the question answers.
For businesses sourced by us, and how can we have two kinds of service for the same customer? Should we give a different kind of service to customers who are not sourced by us and give a better service to customers who are sourced by us? Absolutely no way. So how can you have two rates because you have given them cheaper rates? We have not allowed you to give you those cheaper rates, at least not on our behalf. So I see absolutely no logic in giving lower rates for policies not sourced by us and better rates or the OEM prescribed rates for policies sourced by us. So this is one question. The second question is, Niharika ji, is for you, is about GST. I think very confidently I can say 95% of the dealers would be GST compliant because the GST amount is huge, is really huge. I have found in my case where I have not defaulted in a single GST compliance ever, my GST getting held by insurance companies when payment is made. They make payment of GST after 3 months. So now to extend that kind of credit on GST, and GST amount is huge, 28% on spares and 18% on labor is huge. And if that payment is held by the insurance companies, it definitely impacts my working capital. And third, for Mr. Shilawat, sorry for taking all 3 questions, is that we do not go behind customers who are not sourced by us for renewal. They come to us, and specifically the customers who have gone through claim situations, and those agents or brokers who had sourced the policy originally have not given them claim service. And because they have had wonderful experience with us, they choose to come and renew their policies with us. We neither have the time nor the effort to go behind policies which have not been sourced by us. We will not buy data. Any dealer will not buy data. I can guarantee on behalf of the entire dealer fraternity sitting here. Thank you.
So one last question, Shailendra, I think you were asking.
Well, good afternoon to the elite panel. I have heard all the questions which are general to all dealerships for the payouts, etc. But I have a different question to ask. Like, you have seen that we all have auto dealers over here. We see that surveyors are common. And auto industry works in a system where we release the new cars on DO, delivery orders. And so is the case with the insurance policies. My question is particularly directed to, especially to the government insurance companies, government-owned insurance companies. Why are payments held or deducted after receiving of a DO? Why can't there be a standardization between the surveyor and the company, or the DO should be coming from the company? Why, when we have delivered the car, we have to run for over a year requesting table to table to release the payments? Why the government-owned companies especially, or the entire insurance industry, fraternity as a whole, can't standardize a simple process? So this is one thing which will help not only in the GST issue, but on a big working capital gap. I represent a state, and one of the questions asked by my so many dealers is that the insurance companies' payments are stuck up for close to 1 year, despite the car being released. Thank you.
Yeah, a very genuine concern, sir, and one which we are also trying to address. In our case, most public sector insurance companies operate in a very, decentralized fashion, and there can be service issues like that across geographies. But this is a matter of serious concern for us as well, and we don't want this happening. This, there is a great dent in our reputation when we don't honor the commitment made by the surveyor at the time of, release of the vehicle. We are working towards that, and in the, very few cases which occurs like this, of course, I know, because then it gets delayed and your money gets stuck up. It's a genuine problem. We are working to address this, and hopefully in the next few months, as far as my company is concerned, we would have addressed the issue to its fullest.
Thank you. Thank you all the panelists. I think time is up. I would like to thank each one of you too for his answers. Okay, sorry. He would kill me.
So I'll try to address, sir. The way in a city or in a city, if there are 4 dealers, they should have a common landing cost for a vehicle, which doesn't happen, right? Ideally, it should, because that's what the OEM also wants. But what is wanted and what happens is different. Similarly, customer is king today. He may want to take his vehicle to, basis his convenience. He may want to take his vehicle to some other workshop for repair. But today, within the dealerships also, right, this practices prevail where they want a higher traffic at their workshops, and that's where this entire origin of this labor discounts have started. To be fair to you, since the quality of service does not change, the rates should not change, right? I agree to that particular point, and that is how it should be. Right, so that is something that's why I said, if you want to standardize as a stage 1, right, rather than, going from a manufacturer to manufacturer, because the products that we offer in OEM program are different as compared to what we operate in open market, because there is a restriction for us to extend those products in open market to different LOBs that we are operating in, agency, broking, insurtechs and all other platforms. Hence, since we cannot offer those full-blown products which we are offering in OEMs, hence this kind of delta is there, right? Just to give you I'll not take much of your time, offering a nil debt beyond 5 years, right? That we are offering in OEM programs, but the same is not being offered in open market. One classic this thing, that was point 1. Secondly, about GST, I may beg to differ. Every month when we have discussions with OEMs, we take across, along with us, a list of channels where our GST has been pending from 2018-19, right? And that runs into a couple of crores of rupees, right? I would request if FADA can help us in recovery of those GST amounts, it would be really very helpful, right? And it would streamline the process. And third, you had some other, this thing, GST was there, labor, do hi tha.
Yeah. I think the time is up and we should not hold back others. I would really like to thank each one of you individually. You have been very, very, very candid and very helpful in your answers. I also hope that the same help is extended in business, real life business. I think all my dealer friends would be very, very happy if that can happen. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for a wonderful discussion once again. And to felicitate our panelists for the second panel, can I please call on stage Mr. Shailendra Luthra, State Chairperson, FADA Delhi, to please join me on the stage. There we have him. So please join us on the stage. And first, can we have the memento for Ms. Niharika Singh? Thank you, sir. Can we have a round of applause, please, for all our wonderful panelists for sharing their expertise once again and engaging you all. Next, please bring the memento for Ms. Rema Devi V for her contribution to the panel discussion. Thank you, ma'am. Let me also request you to bring the memento for Mr. Sachin Shilawat next. Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution to the panel discussion. Please bring the memento for Mr. Subhashish Majumdar. Thank you once again, sir. And finally, a memento, please, for our wonderful moderator of the session, Ms. Garima Mishra. Thank you, ma'am. Can we all please come together for a group photograph? A round of applause, please, for our panelists for the second panel discussion. This also wraps up the panel discussions that we had lined up in this segment for all of you. And it was wonderful to engage our audience with such conversation from our esteemed panelists who shared their expertise.